everyone, and welcome back to LearnDefi. Today's lesson, we're diving deep into DeFi protocols. Whether you're looking to earn interest or borrow funds without a traditional bank, understanding DeFi lending is essential. We'll cover everything you need to know, including key concepts like collateral, loan to value, in short we call it LTV, and oracles. And by the end of this video, you'll have a solid grasp of how lending protocol work and how to use them effectively. So let's get started. First, let's define what a DeFi lending protocol is. In traditional finance, you go to a bank and try to borrow money. You need to provide some form of collateral, and the bank will assess your creditworthiness and then set the terms, and if approved, you get a loan. However, in DeFi, lending protocols like Aave or Compound, they allow you to borrow funds by locking up your crypto assets as collateral, and the entire process is automated through smart contracts, meaning there's no need for a bank or a credit check. And this opens up borrowing and lending to a global audience 24/7 with more transparency and often better terms than traditional finance. Now let's touch on some of the key concepts of a lending protocol. And some of these terms include, firstly, collateral. What is collateral? It is the asset that you lock up in the protocol to secure a loan. For example, if you want to borrow stable coins, you can lock up Ethereum as collateral, and the value of your collateral determines how much you can borrow. Next, we have loan to value, LTV. LTV is a crucial concept in DeFi lending. It represents the ratio of the loan amount to the value of your collateral. So for instance, if you lock up $10,000 worth of Ethereum and borrow $5,000 worth of stablecoins, your LTV is 50%. Higher LTVs allow you to borrow more, but they also increase the risk of liquidation if the value of your collateral drops. And lastly, we have oracles. Oracles are services that provide external data to smart contracts. In DeFi lending, oracles are used to fetch real-time price data for your collateral. Accurate price data is essential because it determines whether your collateral is sufficient to cover your loan and if liquidation is necessary. DeFi lending offers several benefits. The first one is that you'll be able to earn interest if you lend your assets to the protocol. And secondly, you have access to liquidity. Borrowing allows you to access funds without selling your assets. However, do take note that there are also risks. The first one is liquidation risk. If your collateral value drops and your LTV becomes too high, your collateral can be liquidated. And of course, not forgetting that there is also smart contract risk, that the protocol's code could also have vulnerabilities, and this pose a risk to your assets. Before we begin our tutorial, let us revisit our liquidity pool that I've deposited into Uniswap last week. So if you have watched my last video, we deposited $5.28, or I think it was slightly more, in the liquidity pool. And as of this week, I have 0.00872 in fees. So just a quick math for you guys. 0.00872 divided by 5.28 divided by 100. So in 1 week, you get about 0.165%. And if you multiply by 52 weeks, then you can get your annual return, which is around 8.5% plus minus. And these returns actually is very dependent on the amount of volume that is flowing through the liquidity pool that you have provided for. So now let's go back to this week's tutorial content, which is we're going to add crypto asset into Aave. So let's begin. So when you arrive at the app of Aave, firstly, let's choose the chain that we are going to be using. They have a lot of chain, and today in this tutorial I'm focusing on the base chain as usual because the gas fee is much lower. Let's connect our wallet, select the browser wallet, and as per last week I'm using Rebby. You can also use other browser wallet like MetaMask. So currently I'm already connected, and on the base chain you can see that I have around 20 USD on in Ethereum. So I'm gonna deposit into Aave. On the left hand side, these are the assets that you can supply to Aave as collateral. And on the right hand column, we can see some of the assets that we can borrow from the protocol, like ETH, USDC, and there's not a lot to choose from. On other chains, you might find more coins that you can borrow and also to supply. So let me just supply $5, around $5. So let's sign the transaction, and 1 year has gone through. I would have supplied $5 of Ethereum into Aave. Okay, so you can see I have $5 of asset into the protocol, and now I can actually borrow stablecoin from it up to $4.24, but I'm just gonna borrow $2.50. So the purpose of this tutorial is just to share with you that it is very straightforward to actually deposit and borrow asset from DeFi protocol. Over here you can see the borrow power that's used. So when this amount gets higher than a certain number, your collateral will be liquidated. Okay, so let's say Ethereum drops half, right? Drops 50%, and it's now my balance will be left with $2.80, right? $2.75, $2.80, and this borrow power use, which is your LTV, will be much higher than what we are seeing now, and then there will be bots or there will be other users that will liquidate accounts that are over the LTV percentage, and they'll get a fee for doing that while you will lose your collateral. Okay, so this was one of the risks that we discussed. So if you click on the risk details here, you can see your current LTV. So my LTV is currently at 46.72, and the liquidation threshold is at 83% for this particular asset, right? So it could differ depending on the collateral they provided. So for safer asset, the protocol will assign a higher, that means it will allow a higher LTV for you. Let's say you deposited USDC, it could be as high as 99%, while for Ethereum it is 83, and some other altcoins that are smaller in market cap could be at 50 to 60%. So this LTV is very important. If you flip it around, it's also the health factor, and these are the two terms that you should familiarize yourself with. So let's say you want to close out a position, you can always do a repay so let me just show you guys how you can repay. You need to approve the token. So oftentimes when you find your LTV is getting too high, too close for comfort, you can actually repay a little bit of your borrowed asset to reduce the LTV and prevent yourself and your position from getting liquidated. So once we have repaid our debt, together with the interest, you can see there's a 0.0001 more, and that is the interest that I have incurred for borrowing $2.50 over a short period of time. Yeah, so this interest will just keep adding as you borrow, based on the APY that's here, so around 6%. Depending on the different type of asset, it could be really high or very low, and all these are automatically calculated by the smart contract. And the interest that you actually earn from the asset you deposited is also calculated automatically. So if I click on withdraw, you can see this M figure has increased like by a little bit, right? So this is the interest that I've earned for this short period of time depositing into Aave. So how do all these DeFi protocols actually determine how much is the value of the asset that they are holding, like Ethereum, and how do they get the net worth of your whatever asset that you have deposited into the protocol? It is through this thing called the oracles, and the most popular oracles is Chainlink. The most popular one is Chainlink, and a couple of other popular ones are Band Protocol and Peace Network. So when you're selecting a DeFi protocol to participate in, you must also ensure that the oracle that they are using is actually accurate and also reputable, because a poor price fit might lead to unnecessary stress. Sometimes, especially during volatile times, your collateral could be liquidated if the price fit is not reflecting the actual price correctly. And so let's now move back to the slides to finish up the this week's lesson. To summarize, DeFi lending protocols offer a powerful way to borrow and lend without traditional intermediaries. Understanding key concepts like the collateral, LTV, and oracles is crucial for using these platforms effectively. And I encourage you to explore these protocols with a small amount to get comfortable with the process. Don't forget to subscribe to LearnDefi, like this video, and if you have found it helpful, please drop a comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.